Well, hello again, and welcome to a little bit of a late and surprise Hyperion morning.
Yeah, like a little extra though.
Yeah, hopefully you can hear us okay. We're using it's all a weird setup here. I'm going to be honest with you. We're at Bay Lake Towers, as you can see from the little caption right here. You can see the artwork behind us. We're live from Bay Lake Towers and just using a rudimentary setup to try and bring you some fun this morning on a Monday, on a Labor Day. Happy Labor Day.
Yeah, happy Labor Day, everybody. Hope you have some great plans for today.
Yeah, happy 1st of September as well.
Ooh, yeah.
So we wanted to check in because we just wrapped up Destination D23, Michelle, last night.
Yeah, and what a weekend. It was busy.
It has been busy. We've been on the go since Friday morning, doing lots of stuff, checking out lots of stuff, going to panels, experiencing Magic Kingdom. So much to talk about this week. We'll be sharing a lot of it on this week's episode, and we're very excited to share that with you. By the way, I think we're live on Instagram right now. If we are, I can't see you if you're commenting, so I apologize for that. But if you're over on YouTube, Facebook, we should be able to see that. But anyway, we just wanted to come in and talk about a few things. We're going to talk a lot at length about this whole weekend, including getting to go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, going to visit Beacon Barrel, and then everything else wrapped up around Destination D23. But there were a couple things that were newsworthy, and more than that, actually.
Well,
but a couple key things that we want to share today. Yeah, kind of talk about. So, Michelle, what were some of those things that came out of Destination D23 we wanted to mention?
Well, do I do the big one or the kind of cool one?
Do whatever one you want.
All right. Well, the kind of cool one, first of all, is that they shared the color scheme on the castle at Magic Kingdom here in Orlando is going back to the OG color scheme that was when the park first opened.
Yeah, so that happened during it was kind of a discussion of the castles around the world.
Spires and beyond.
Right, and I'm glad you remember the name of it. I just removed the castle panel. But yeah, they kind of, and that was kind of the biggest news out of that yes, Cinderella Castle. For those of you that love kind of more the pinkish Cinderella Castle, well, sorry. It's going back to kind of more the classic look, the look that when I first was coming here to Walt Disney World experienced. I think you experienced it for many, many years.
Right, yes.
And I know there's a lot of people that are very nostalgic for that. And I like the pink look, but I do like the nostalgic look too. Mm-hmm. And I think a refresher is always good. So I'm excited to see how this turns out. Michelle, what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I love the classic look as well. And I like the pink color scheme as well. I'm saying as well a lot this morning. But
as well. You're saying as well.
As well. But I think, one of the things that came out of that panel, obviously, is that over time, things change. And they're going to, if they're celebrating certain events or times a year or something like that, movie releases like with Stitch and the toilet paper. We got a little bit back behind the scenes info about how they do that. I won't get into now, but yeah, it's not something that will stay forever, and it's alive, and yes, I'm excited about that color scheme. I took a lot to say that, didn't I?
I was trying to go figure out where you were going there, but we got there somehow.
Did we?
Maybe.
Did I make a point?
Maybe. We've been exhausted. It has been a busy couple of days, so please give Michelle a little leeway here on that one. No, I like it. I like it. Like I said, I kind of like the pink castle look, but I also like the classic castle look. And I think that everything that's old is new again. And I'm excited to check that out. So what was the other big announcement that you wanted to share, Michelle?
Oh my God. To me, it was a jaw drop. Although they made it, they kind of just said it and moved on, but in the Carousel of Progress, and they shared and reminded people how they do update the scenes in the carousel, especially the last scene. But what they're going to be doing is, since it was the only attraction at Walt Disney World that Walt was actually in and everything, they are bringing Walt to that attraction, and they will have Walt. It sounded like the audio animatronic Walt that is going to be in one of the sections of that, more the introduction
Yeah.
section.
So yeah, and that was really cool. I'm very excited
Mhm.
about that. I mean, we've been talking about for years, a lot of us in the Disney community, about how they could probably use a refresher, especially. I mean, the first few scenes of the Carousel Progress, they're supposed to be historic, supposed to be
Right.
fine, but what was supposed to be modern day was really, really kind of dated. I mean, it's kind of cute in the way it was dated,
Right.
you know, but it was just not speaking to what technology is now. So, you know, updating that I think was really discussed for a long time. And I think that they're going to do that. They didn't get into details,
Right.
obviously more to come on that, but it's going to be, you know, the family that they mentioned, they're all going to be there. It's going to be a new look, a refresher. So obviously that scene. But yeah, the big news was that the introduction portion, which is usually just been kind of a unveil of the Carousel Progress sign, and then kind of a you know, just basically a read of, you know, what the Carousel Progress is about.
Right.
Looks like now it's going to be opening up to a scene of, yeah, the Walt animatronic, a very similar animatronic to what you're seeing at Disneyland right now, just maybe a little bit different, but and just basically talking you into Carousel Progress. I think that's exciting because everybody,
Yeah.
I know there was some criticism of the Walt animatronic um, from Disneyland, from people who saw it online, saw pictures of it or whatever, but from people who have actually seen it in person, they rave about it.
Right. Right.
So I think that doing that and having a chance to experience that at a Walt Disney World, on like you mentioned, Michelle, the only Walt Disney World attraction that Walt actually stepped foot in, that actually rode, that actually was a significant part of. I think that's very, very important, and I think that's going to be cool.
I do. I agree with you 100%. I think that's going to be so cool and so exciting to see that change. You know, that last scene where it's supposed to be modern times or somewhat futuristic, it's probably a challenge like what the original concept of Tomorrowland was, that, you know, technology changes quicker than what the Imagineers can come up with and build. And so it's hard to keep that being cutting edge, because by the time that they have created it, you know, the concept and put it into place, things have changed.
Right.
So,
I mean, just think about advancements to phones and everything.
Right.
I think that's the most obvious thing from what we hold. And,
Right.
you know, just think about even just 5 years ago, you know, phones have advanced and things you can do with them and so forth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, of course, obviously, it will always be a little dated. It's just, you just can't help but it be that way. But it still will be, it's good to get a refresher and at least get a little bit closer to it. And it's, you know, as long mostly I'm just excited that the carousel, I'm always worried about the Carousel Progress.
I know.
Like, is it going to go away or are they going to do something else with it? I'm always excited that when some of these nostalgic things stick around, even if they do need to kind of update them and tweak them a little bit. But I think that's going to be phenomenal. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah. So that, I mean, there wasn't a lot of big attraction or park announcements because a lot happened already last year at the D23 Expo. And they're probably saving some for the next year's expo because we'll be closer to some of the newer things that they announced actually opening. But this was one of the things that they shared that was super exciting.
And there's still obviously a lot more to be learned about that attraction, about the castle. A few other things that they kind of went over. One, you know, one that dropped was that World of Frozen over at Disneyland Paris will be officially open in spring of next year. So that's exciting. We knew it was coming very soon. We didn't have an exact date. We still don't have an exact date, but we have at least a season.
Yeah.
So we know that somewhere from, I don't know, March to June, it's probably opening somewhere in that time period, which is, as we all know, hashtag Real Men Love Frozen. So very excited for that.
Yes.
And we also learned a few things about the Disney Destiny. You're going to be able to meet Dr. Facilier on board. There's like a secret room where you can meet with him, which is very exciting, and a few other things. There were a couple smaller announcements. Obviously, you know, there was a reason they didn't have a parks panel so much in this, was because I just don't think they had a lot to say. They could have shown up a few concept artwork of some things that are coming, but there just really wasn't much to actually add to it, Michelle. But we did see a few other things, like we did see when they were discussing the villains area a little bit. We did not really get any look into the villains area, but we did get a look into some of where they've been traveling to get the influences for it, including Barcelona and Paris. and they're looking for, so what they said was that they were looking for some things that kind of intertwine nature and maybe some of the more built areas that kind of intertwine, almost look like they were magically put together,
Right.
and kind of trying to influence how the areas of that land will kind of shape out eventually.
Right. How they, and the other thing they also kind of talked about in that area is how important it's going to be that the villains being able to interact with each other, and how guests will be able to kind of experience that as well.
Yeah, so it's very exciting, but there's a lot more to come about that. Obviously, that land is a few years away. They're just starting to grade the area now, so that's going to be a while away. So we have plenty of time to get more information on that, including, like Michelle mentioned, the D23. They don't call it the D23 Expo anymore, but we will always call it the D23 Expo because it's simpler than saying the Ultimate Disney Fan Event every time we say D23. So just when that comes, and that was it. We also got our dates. It's August 14th through 16th out in Anaheim of next year, and we plan on attending that. We're already like, oh, can't book hotel yet. We're already looking into that, so we look excited for that. But lots more to come. Anyway, we just wanted to check in with you. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Hopefully everything is going well into your Monday. Hopefully you're celebrating Labor Day and have the day off. If you don't, we understand. Either way, we appreciate you, and we appreciate you coming along. And again, we will have much more to say about all of this coming up on our next episode. And shamelessly to self-promote, we did have a new episode drop yesterday. Hopefully you've checked that out yet. If not, you can check it out in the days to come. We speak with Didier Guiz, author, historian, about his book, The Origins of Walt Disney's True Life Adventures. Really, really great book. Talks a lot about how basically an animation company decided to start making some nature documentaries, or just documentaries in general, that are still shaping the documentaries you see even to this day, right, Michelle?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a big deal. You know, he's an author that, as Tom said, he's also a historian, but he really goes to, whether it's the archives or actual people or relatives of people who were involved in some of these things, and gets very detailed and authentic information. So what he says is, you can be assured it's real, and it's accurate. And like Tom said, with this book that he put together, which it really is, it's a stunning book. It's beautiful, and it's got a lot of great information about it. And it's one of those books that you know that can take you on a journey. If you like reading and being taken to other places, this will do it. And it's not necessarily taking you to the places specifically about what was the true life adventure. You're not reading about necessarily that. You're reading about how did that even come about.
Right.
So.
Well, and as Didier pointed out in the interview, and I think you've pointed it out on other shows, yes, if you like the True Life Adventures, you're going to get something from that. If you like Disney animation, you're going to get something from that. If you like Donald Duck, you're going to get something from it. All from this monograph. There's like 5 or 6 different things that you can get out of it, depending on what you really enjoy. And it works as like a reference piece if you're, because there's some really great information, historical information. But even as a coffee table book that you just want to leaf through, because there's really a lot of great pictures, a lot of great artwork, a lot of great stuff from the history of Disney. So check out the book and check out the interview. Coming out, it also will be a video version on YouTube coming out within the next few days as well, once we get back and start reassociating back to the real world, away from our destination D23 visit. Also, before we get out of here, just wanted to shout out, and I know I'm not going to get this name right, but hopefully I do, or at least close to it. The Lake Buena Vista pipe and drum team that showed up at Destination D23. One of the most amazing things yesterday was we had little bed knobs and broomsticks moment. And they came out with their bagpipes and their drums and performed one out there in the midst of Destination D23. Then for for a long period of time out in the lobby as well. It was one of the most magical moments of the show. So if you're out there and you're watching this, thank you. It was amazing. And we'll be talking more about that. And by the way, if you want to come on the show, we may be reaching out to you as well. We'd love to hear more about the Lake Buena Vista. And again, I apologize if I get the name wrong. Lake Buena Vista Pipe and Drum Troupe.
Yeah, they were incredible. And it really was a special moment. It was one of those, puts chills on.
Yeah.
You know,
One of many we received this weekend. We'll be talking a lot about it on this next episode. So anyway, have it. We're going to get out of here, start packing up here and heading back home after a great more to say about in the mornings. Well, more mornings, more our normal time morning shows coming in. Keep on sharing those smiles. And of course, keep on sharing that positivity. We will be back with you tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m., our normal time to do all those things with you.